So for people that haven't really been able to follow you or maybe caught on a little bit later, especially for the people outside of Manchester, which is where you're from, how do you describe to them how you've achieved what you have so far?
I'm somebody that's kind of charged by the pain that I've been through growing up. Do you get what I'm saying? The struggle that I went through. And that's what's kept me going. That's what gave me that hunger to be so cutthroat in the pursuit of the things that I wanted. And then I kind of got to a stage where I got a lot of the things that I wanted.
How?
I had a list of everything exactly what I wanted, to the point where some of the stuff I drew it down, like the house I wanted and the cars I wanted and that law of attraction stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? And I attracted it and like the fan base, the support what I've got, everything kind of came in. My mum's happy.
Yeah.
My mum's smiling all the time.
Amazing.
So it's all things that like, it makes you just chill for a minute. Do you get what I'm saying? You start to feel like, okay, I'm a human being now. Before I was desperate. Do you get what I'm saying? I wasn't the same as other people. I was coming from desperate circumstances. Now I'm in a position where I'm living okay.
Yeah.
So it's a different version of me that I'm not used to. So I'm just adapting.
Do you think there's things now you look back at it that you would do differently? Like you said, you know, everybody has that moment where you say desperate. Some people just have it's necessity. You know, you need to do something to get somewhere else. And it comes from you having to accept in your own mind, okay, cool, maybe if I was in a different circumstance, I wouldn't do it this way. But I'm here now and this is the choice that I'm making and this is how I want to do it.
I remember very clearly that I didn't have a choice. Domestic violence is a powerful thing when you witness these things as a kid. And there was also a point, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say, but there was a point where I was attacked by people and ended up stabbed. And I was a kid, I was 11, do you know what I mean? And so I didn't have a choice. And if them things didn't happen and I was protected in my home environment and didn't feel exposed to scary things, I would have never had to have become the character that I become. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, like me as a person, if certain situations didn't happen, it could have all been different. I was quite clever in school and that kind of thing, but there was a path kind of laid out for me and I had to survive in it. And I think growing up, I don't know if I was sure how long I would survive. It sounds dumb, sounds
No, it
daft.
doesn't.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't think, I didn't map out past a certain point in my head, because the lifestyle that we was living, I just wasn't sure how far it was going to go. And that's something I'm having to adapt to. Okay. Like, well, I'm still here and everything's going well.
Yeah.
That's why I called the album B.inspired, because I am somebody that's come from nothing and achieved the things that I wanted. So the whole journey speaks for itself.
What is your relationship with London?
I used to come out here for like little interviews or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it felt like, the only way I could describe it, is it felt like an iPhone with no internet and no apps. That's how it felt. You know, it's just dead. Couldn't get into anywhere. It felt like no one was going on. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just difficult.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
So that's what London felt like.
That's how it felt. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's a device that should do loads of stuff.
Yeah, you know it's sick and you've seen them done before, but you can't get it to work. When my career kind of taken off now, it's like we got a little hotspot of somebody and we got a couple of applications. Do you get what I'm saying? And we started to get invited to places and doors started to open.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm at a point where there's too many apps on the phone.
I'm going to put my hand up and say I take for granted how easy it is to speak to people when you're from here compared to if you're not. If you're from Manchester and coming down. I
came through at a time where the internet had made everything one.
Okay.
And that's what people weren't ready for.
Okay.
And I was one of the first to capitalise on that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people was resentful towards that. But when I look at like my demographic on Instagram, Snapchat, the main of my audience is in London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by a lot, big numbers. Do you get what I'm saying? So this isn't where like I came through the Manchester scene and I was big in the Manchester scene. I was doing good numbers compared to some of the people in Manchester.
Yeah.
I think people are always a little bit confused. How is it? Like, how? Just how? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to it happened quick.
Yeah.
And I capitalised on it when it came. I didn't freeze up in the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? I capitalised and I'm a good businessman. So I allowed my skill set to keep growing under pressure. Okay. That's the key. In my eyes, is being able to work under pressure, because with fame, that's what comes, limelight. And I think a lot of people just freeze up in that limelight. By the time it's gone, they didn't save money. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They kind of kept their eyes closed until it went.
What was the biggest pressure for you?
Coming out of the shadows. I come from a lifestyle that's quite like hidden and in the background. And it's the road, like now the roads are exposed. You're seeing it, and it's the drill epidemic. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the whole, and then it was grime before that, and the roads are getting exposed through these things. But before that, the roads was very, you definitely wouldn't have man on camera talking about the things that they'd done. So I come from like the shadows into like, now I'm just here.
Broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
So not only are you coming from a place that's outside of London, so the industry's 3 hours away on a drive from you,
Yep.
you're also coming from a place that you're not used to even people even seeing your face,
Just,
knowing your name, wanting to say hello to you, wanting to find out more about who you are.
Yeah. If you look at man from the roads and you look at them for too long, they're gonna ask you what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's the lifestyle that they're from. It's like a subtle insecurity. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you're just used to being in the shadows, so people can't watch you, and then you get into a position now where everyone's watching you, and everyone has a right to watch you. So it's just it's a pressure in itself. But then I think there's a part of my character that was always an entertainer.
Okay.
And I think that part of my character was alive before things went wrong. So I was able to kind of tap back into that.
Okay.
And be excited with people and appreciate my supporters and not be funny with anybody. Do you get what I'm saying? And keep it friendly with people. If it was a kid that's coming over and saying stuff, I'll greet them the way I'd greet a kid.
Was it hard to keep that Aggie side of you away when people are questioning why you are where you are, you know, why you're having a top 10 EP or single? Was it hard to do that?
I think that just came out in the music and my whole attitude towards everybody. My thing was, I've been involved in grime since Risky Roads too. From when Skepta was just coming from being a producer
into an MC.
You get what I'm saying? I've seen people's journeys from the get-go, and I think that's what people underestimate. I think because I've never spoke about my history in grime, people think, you've just popped up. But it's like, I was there watching the front runners go through, the talented ones go through. And I was in a gang in Manchester MCing and stuff, but I was still MCing same time they was kind of MCing. So in my mind, I felt like I had a right to come through as well. Because like I say, when I'm watching all of these front runners and like the Pioneers and the Wileys and the Lethal Bees and stuff, I'm thinking, I'm comparing myself to them. And that's why I never really got involved in a scene in Manchester, because I just felt like I'm competing with what's going on in general.
Okay.
I'm competing with the best. I don't want to like compete with the guys that are struggling. Do you get what I'm saying? So, for me, my attitude was, I feel as if I'm as good as anybody. Everybody's good in their different areas, but I felt like I've got my own little unique thing. I'm as good as anybody, and I deserve a spot. So I think I kind of brought that attitude to the table. And when people was trying to block, like the fans, they started to call me the King of the North. And I think the reason that stuck and people say it is because that's what I stand for, which is a bit of a gift and a curse, because I'm a little bit alienated. Yeah. But I had to do what I had to do to break that door down and to gain the respect for people outside of London. So if that makes me a little bit, not disliked, but like pushed over into a corner, then cool, because that's what I represent. I represent that people can come from outside of London and still work as hard as the guys that are killing it in London.